Okay, let's begin by taking a comfortable seat. You can set yourself into whatever version of like a pyramid or tripod shape is yours. I've talked about that for the last couple of weeks. If you're sitting in a cross-legged position, then your hands over your knees will make that kind of pyramid. If you're sitting on a physio ball, which is what I'm doing, so I'm at the height of my camera for you guys, then I'm also sitting with a pyramid shape and my hands go out over my knees. I do know that for some of you, you want to sit in Virasana because it's better for your hips, and that's, of course, understandable and fine. In that case, you can rest your hands out over the fronts of your knees and just keep the inner body spacious through the torso. You're welcome to close your eyes. And begin to feel into the porousness of your body. If you reflect on all 5 elements are present in you, and all 5 elements are collaborating within you. So earth and water, fire, air and ether. The earth element lets your body take on the form, the density of the structures. The water element, the smoothness or the viscosity, the hydration, the glide of the tissues, the fluidity of circulation. The fire element, both your inner heat and your digestion, also that which lights up your eyes and brightens your heart. The air element, that which you are breathing and that which is breathing you. The ether element, the space, the space even inside the body, like the space inside the cells, the space between things, the spaces in your joints, the space. Try to sense those 5 elements just as you tune in. Letting your body be porous means welcoming information in and information flowing out, sensory input in, responses going out, allowing life to touch you, having a response back to life. You could imagine the breath as the ambassador, as it were, that brings the 5 elements together, because the breath helps your mind to be in your body, and the breath as the ambassador of the inner and the outer and the inner. As we've been talking about for the last few weeks, now allow the inhale to go from the pelvic floor and kind of upwards, widening, concentrically expanding, and lifting your heart. And the exhale like a gentle tone from your pelvic floor and your deep low belly, coming upwards towards your heart. And we'll have a formal pranayama practice after chanting, but just try to sense this pathway of the breath for about 3 breath cycles more. So you're kind of getting the news of the day, the news of your body, the news of your heart, the inner information. You're also connecting to the wisdom that will guide your practice. Please bring your hands together at your heart. And we'll chant Sahana Bhavatu together. Okay, let's begin. Om Sahanao Bhunakto Savidyam Karavavaye Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Savidyam Karavavaye Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Savidyam Karavavaye Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. You may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Open your eyes. And now, beginning more formal pranayama, we will start with the rapid exhale. We've been using the candle out in front, so we will do this practice. We'll have an inhale suspension, and this morning we're going to exhale blood blowing out through the tiny straw of the lips. So let's begin with as if the candle were about this far in front of you. The exhale is through the mouth. Exhale. Now inhale to hold. Exhale silently through the lips. Repeating that same process. Take a little sip of an inhale. Exhale. Inhale to hold. And exhale silently through the lips. You tone the belly all the way to the end, and then let the next in-breath just blossom in the low belly. Inhale through the nose, Kapalabhati. Take a little sip of an inhale. Exhale. Inhale from the bottom to the top. Silently through the lips. And then one more time, same thing. Take a sip of an inhale. Exhale all the way to the end of the exhale, and then inhale through the nose from the bottom to the top. We're going to hold the breath at the top. Exhale through the lips. At the end of the exhale, when you tone the belly, when you allow the inhale to blossom in, then sit very quietly. Now let's see how this feels. Interlace your fingers, please. Inhale, raise the heels of your hands up. And exhale, pull the hands down behind your head so the pinkies go at the base of your skull and your palms face down. And then inhale, sweep your elbows forward, lift upwards. And exhale, aim the heels of your hands high, reach up through the crown of your skull, level your head, tone the deep low belly. Now inhale to open. And exhale, bring your hands together at your heart. Once more, same thing. Inhale, Ujjayi inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down, tone your deep low belly. Rest your pinkies at the occipital ridge, and then inhale, elbows in and up. And exhale, press up. Use the tone of the low belly, level your head, reach up through the crown of your skull. Then inhale to open. Lower, middle, upper, leaving lots of space for the upper. And then exhale your hands to your heart. Now please rise up to standing. Thank you all for that. So when you come up to stand, let's come into mountain pose. I need to get my cord figured out, just one moment. When you come to mountain pose, place your feet so that they are hip distance apart. And we'll get the proper video for you. All right, there we go. So when you come into the stance, also lift your inner arches and try to sense when you stand here the earth element kind of under your feet, in a way quite literally under your feet. And then sense the element of water, the fluidity of the body. If you just stand really still, you can sense that there is actually circulation and pulsation going on. The element of fire, you're warm enough, and you have enough mental fire to pay attention. The element of air, that which you're breathing, that which is breathing you, and the element of space. And then interlace your fingers, repeating. Inhale, raise your arms up. So from standing, as you go up like this, now exhale, place the heels of your hands behind the base of your skull, and inhale, sweep your elbows forward and up. Come into a little standing back bend. I know it's your first back bend of the day. When you exhale, press up, bring yourself into your plumb line, and this time inhale to open another standing back bend. Open your chest, your heart, and your throat. And then exhale, pour yourself forward and down, Uttanasana. Here we're going to repeat that. So inhale, glide your heart forward. When you exhale, bow deeply towards your legs. Using the Ujjayi exhale, watch the tone that happens at the base of your belly. Now inhale, rise up, sweep your arms out to the side, palms up, look up. Exhale, hands to your heart. As you pass through the heart, interlace your fingers, repeating inhale, going up. You exhale, elbows wide, take the pinkies behind your head. And then inhale, raise your elbows up and come into a standing back bend. And exhale, press up, reach up, at the same time root down through your heels. Now here's another standing back bend. Inhale to open. And then exhale and pour yourself forward. Think of the element of water. Touch the floor. That's Uttanasana. Inhale, glide your heart forward. Exhale to bow towards your legs, and this time prepare to walk into downward facing dog pose from your Uttanasana. Whether that means walking your hands forward and your feet back or stepping backwards, please find your downward facing dog. Establish both hands firmly. And keeping your rib cage steady, let the breath move your hips and your pelvis, sitting bones, and heels side to side. So keep your hands, arms, shoulders, and heart steady. And as you're rocking side to side, listen for the smoothness, like almost as if you could hear the water under the canoe. The canoe actually held near the bank and just gently rocking. So the stability of your hands, arms, shoulders. The fluidity of your mid-torso, pelvis, low belly, legs, and feet. And sometimes as you do this, your feet start going farther and farther back on the mat. That's because you're swiveling on the toes. So feel free to scoot them forward if you need to. And let's do this about 3 or 4 times more. So the next time that you're coming to center, go ahead and pause there. Reach back with your hips and down with your heels. And then inhale, roll forward to plank pose. And exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Please lie on your stomach. Take your arms out to the side in a T shape, watching out for obstacles. Okay, and then when you inhale, raise your arms, your legs, your heart, and your head. And exhale, roll down, turn your gaze to your right. Follow your inhale, rise up, legs and arms, heart and head. Exhale, come down, turn your head to your left. Inhale, rise up. Exhale down to the right. And again, inhale, rise up. And exhale down to your left. Place your hands beneath your shoulders. Center your forehead. Inhale, roll up to one cobra pose. And then exhale, press up, table pose. Straighten your arms, inflate the back of your body. There's your table. And inhale, downward facing dog pose. And let's use this downward dog pose to get really still and to take notice in the inner body now, the feeling, the shape, and the pace of the breath. Particularly after the pose called Salambhasana, there is a recalibration for your breathing because you were resting on your abdomen, so the diaphragm had to make a different kind of effort. You were lifting up away from gravity, so that back bend has a different activation in the body. And please step into Uttanasana, walking your hands and feet towards each other or feet towards your hands or vice versa. Uttanasana. Root your heels and let's inhale, rise up, upward hands pose. And then exhale, hands to your heart. And pause to notice again now. If you let the arms relax, check in with the earth element, where you sense that in your body. The water element. The air element. The element of fire, your heat, your body temperature. The element of space. And then let's take this into Surya Namaskar. And I'm going to ask you to use blocks because we'll be exploring seal pose and cobra pose like we did last week. So please step forward in preparation for Surya Namaskar. Surya means sun, related to the heat in our bodies, but also the luminosity. With the sun, we're giving our gratitude for the sun to have emerged again, but actually we know that we're the ones rotating. The sun was stable, our planet was rotating. So join your hands together at your heart with appreciation for how you've rotated your life to be here this morning. Using the Ujjayi breath, please. And let's inhale, hands down, palms out, raise up. Now on the exhale, we'll do our standing back bend. So you can have the arms up overhead if you like, or out to the side. And inhale, pull up to center. And exhale, bow forward without swinging your hips backwards. So you're really coming down over the strength of your legs. Then inhale, glide forward through your heart, raise up through the crown of your skull, and then look forward. Exhale, left toes back for the basic lunge. Press into your fingers to find the tone of your belly. Inhale, sweep wide to rise up. So you're floating inside your right hip socket, not collapsing onto it. Exhale, wide, forward and down. Press into your blocks. Inhale, step forward, heart forward. And exhale for a deep bow towards the legs. Press down into your palms. Tone the deep low belly. Inhale, glide forward. Without any rushing, exhale, take your right toes back. Press down into your fingertips to energize your pelvic floor and your deep low belly. Inhale, float up. Lots of space in your left hip joint. Yeah, exhale, arms wide. Nice job. Beautiful. Yes. And then using the two blocks, step backwards. Inhale, downward facing dog pose. Exhale, roll forward, plank pose. Gaze down between your thumbs. Inhale, cat pose. Parachute the back body so your knees land really lightly on the floor. Exhale, cow pose. Bring your heart forward. Now inhale, glide forward, seal pose. So the shoulders will go back, and you brought the hips forward. This is called seal pose. And then lift up through your chin, stretch the front of your body. Now let's exhale, table pose. And inhale, downward facing dog pose. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, deep bow toward the legs. Inhale to rise. Exhale to your heart. Inhale, arms up. Urdhva Hastasana, up at the high point. Exhale, standing back bend. Inhale, rise up to vertical. Exhale, bow forward slowly in the cadence of your breath and tone the belly deeply at the end. Then inhale, glide your heart forward. That glide is like water or air moving in the body. Left toes back. Press down through all 10 fingers so you're toning the low belly. Inhale, float up. Very nice. Exhale, wide, forward and down. Complete the exhale as your fingertips arrive. Inhale, float forward, heart forward. Exhale for a deep bow towards the legs. Inhale, glide your heart forward. Exhale, right toes back. Press down through your left heel and your fingers. And then inhale, glide up. So lots of space in both hip joints. And exhale, arms wide, forward and down. Now as you touch the two blocks, inhale, step backwards, downward dog. Complete the inhale. Exhale, plank pose. Now inhale, seal pose. Step over the top of one foot. So you draw yourself forward, hips down. And then inhale, roll up with your chin. Exhale, slide your heart forward, cobra, even if you don't come very far down. Keep the shoulders moving back. Feel the back of the shoulder joint and even the triceps. And then inhale, roll up. Exhale, glide forward. Shoulders back, heart forward. Okay, once more, inhale, roll up. Now exhale, table pose. Feel the tone of the low belly right there. And then inhale, glide back, downward facing dog pose. This time exhale, left foot forward first. And then your right foot on the inhale. Heart forward. And exhale for a deep, steady bow over your legs. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands to your heart. Pause in your mountain pose. Notice the 5 elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. And release both hands. We're going to practice releasing a little bit of heat from the body. So to do this, keep your 2 blocks and with your right foot forward, step your left toes back. So we'll do this as a basic pose that's familiar to you, and then we're going to do it as a variation. It's a simple twist, but I do want you to have the chance to feel there's a compression and then there's the release of compression. So the fire that can get trapped like in the doing part of life, we want that to be used differently, that the fire goes out to just nourish your body or to make the eyes more luminous, but not to cause so much burnout, as it were. So place your left palm firmly on the block here. Take your right hand to your right knee and twist your upper body to your right and gaze to your right. And keep the left leg strong behind you. In fact, tone your left butt muscles. Press down for your right heel and your right toes. Press your right hand firmly down against your right knee. And let the inner belly sort of swoosh to the right, making sure to actually relax the belly to receive your inhale. And then you tone the belly during your exhale. The greatest amount of tone is at the end of your exhale. The greatest amount of space is at the top of your inhale. And then exhale to release. Now, step back to dog pose and just take notice what happens. Please place your blocks and your hands shoulder width apart. And then step your right foot forward again. And I'd like you to place your right foot on the outside of your mat and your block on the inside of your right foot. So you have two blocks here. Step your left foot to the left side of your mat so your feet are as wide as your yoga mat left to right. Turn your right toes out slightly. Turn this block out as well. And then with your left hand on the block beneath your left shoulder, right hand to your right knee, and begin to twist so the pose is a lot more open. Again, keep your left leg strong behind you. Press down with your right heel, right shin, right hand on your right knee. And keep the left arm strong without collapsing onto your shoulder, please. And notice any strength that you need to revive in your left leg. As you twist now, start to think about cobra pose in the upper back. And raise your right arm high. Think about the standing back bend pose we had. And then exhale, lower your right hand down to the block that's on the diagonal and place your left hand on that block. So that to bring your torso around now, you have to make this little side bend at the left side waist. And we're going to twist again with compression. So twist your upper body to your right. Keep the left leg strong behind you. Notice that bit of side bend you've added because your left foot is wide on your yoga mat and so is your right. You have to make this side bend to come over towards your right leg. And then lift your left hand, place it back on the other block, and come to your open twist. And then release your right hand down. And step backwards, please, to downward dog pose. And let's take notice how things are feeling. Place your feet again so they're hip distance apart. And your hands so they're shoulder width apart. And let's do the other side. So float your left foot forward, starting with your basic pose. So your feet are probably hip distance apart left to right here. Take your right hand under your right shoulder. Press firmly down, left hand to your left knee. And as you twist to your left, roll your left shoulder up and back. And feel that there is some compression in the pose, but let's use the strength of the limbs so that your inner belly is able to kind of undulate with inhale most expansive, exhale most toned. Noticing the compression for one more breath. When you next exhale, place both hands again on your block so your hands are shoulder width apart. Step back and listen into the body for any release of heat, like even your left leg might momentarily get warmer and then it may level off again into basic temperature. So circulation is going back down from your core through your left leg to your heel. Now let's try the wide twist. You're going to bring the left foot forward, scooch it out to the left side of your yoga mat. Turn your foot out and put your block on a diagonal. Step your right foot over to the wide side of your mat. And begin with your right hand directly under your right shoulder, left hand to your left knee. So this is a more open twist. Think of the space that you're making here in the body, and a little bit like cobra pose in the upper back. Raise your left arm high. Feel the luminosity that might be able to shine through at your solar plexus or from your eyes or even from your heart. And then let's roll this one down and play with compression and then the release of compression again. So place your right hand over on this block. If you have to side bend to bring your torso over your left thigh, and then add a little twist. And notice what happens with your breath in the back of your body here. And also what happens during the exhale. How much patience do you have to wait out the exhale and then allow the belly to expand for the inhale. And then float your right hand back to its block and reach into your more expansive twist. And let's flow down. Take both hands to shoulder width on your blocks, please, and step backwards to dog pose. And once more, notice any release of heat from your body, but also from your mind. And then roll forward gently to table pose. Take one block to sit on in Vajrasana. And when you come to sit, use as many blocks as you need to make your Vajrasana comfortable. Rest your hands in your lap. And let's imagine that you're watching a candle flame come into its steadiness. And that candle flame is in your own heart. Now you may actually feel your heart rate, and it might be coming down from activation to ease, but also sense the flame of the candle, luminous, bright enough, not flickering wildly, not smoldering. Now we're going to practice a pranayama that's cooling. So on the inhale, we're going to use the straw breath, where you make the tongue into the shape of a straw, like that. Some of you don't have that genetic capacity to make the straw, in which case you can inhale with the tip of the tongue behind the top two teeth and a little like air conditioning unit in the mouth. Or sometimes people make an even tiny straw again, like. The idea is that you're slowing down the inhale, you're cooling the breath, and you can feel that coolness in the mouth, and you're causing a change physiologically. And when we do this, we're going to be going up with the inhale, And then we'll exhale out the nose and bring the head back to level. Okay, so let's try it once together. Make the shape that you're going to be using. Here's the inhale. Exhale through your nose. As you level your head off, picture the flame of the heart being steady. And now let's try that for 5 breath cycles, please. Beginning now. Use each breath cycle thoughtfully. You are providing medicine to your body. You are shifting physiology. Three times more. Twice more. Last one. When your head comes to level and you finish the exhale, then rest quietly. Okay, please take a blanket to sit on. You'll need both of your blocks. And the blanket, we're going to sit in Bharadvajasana. So what that means is, I'm going to take my blanket and fold it in thirds. So like this, 1, 2, 3. To sit in Bharadvajasana, oh, let me remember, this is my right hip while I'm teaching. You're going to sit so that you have your right hip going onto the blanket, and the two knees are a little bit asymmetrical. Your pelvis may or may not be level. You're looking for a little bit for it to be level. May not be precisely so. Take one block in preparation to be behind you. Okay, so this little bit of a sideways seat here, we're going to be doing a twist that goes to the right, and we will add a side bend in. So take the back of your left hand around the outside of your right thigh. If possible, you can place your fingers on the floor so they actually sneak under there. I don't have long arms, so my sneaking is a little bit different. I have to squiggle it down there. And then let's go ahead and hold your left wrist, please, with your right hand to give it some staying power as you add a side bend to your left. For now, let's take the gaze down towards the floor so your nose turns down to your left. And then imagine cobra pose in your right upper back and right shoulder. And walk your right hand back to the block that's behind you. So you still have your side bend to your left. You're still gazing down to your left. But add the cobra pose in your right upper chest and shoulder. Your right fingers can just rest on the block behind you. Making cobra pose in the right shoulder is adding a little bit of a twist to the upper thoracic spine. Let's inhale once more here. And then exhale and bring your torso upright and add the more formal twist. So you can put the right block behind you for your right hand and please twist to your right. Notice what your breath can do here, how spacious is the inhale, how patient is your exhale. And then please come around to facing forward. And we can put the block to the side. Let's switch the hips, please. So you're going to put your blanket, Vajrasana, for your left hip. And the block can be at the ready behind you. I'm putting mine on the tall setting because I don't have long arms. You can decide. Okay, so take the back of your right hand around the outside of your left thigh. You may have to squiggle it down there like I do. So my fingers actually reach the floor. There you go. And then side bend to your right. Gaze down to your right. And let the side bend sort of melt you a little bit. So you're getting ready for adding cobra pose to the upper left quadrant of your torso. And then start rolling your left shoulder open so it'll feel like cobra pose in the left upper shoulder, and perhaps you can rest your left fingers on your block. I have to find mine. So that there's just a little touch point right there. So still side bending to the right, still gazing down to your right. And just add a little twist in the left upper back, left shoulder, in your chest and your heart. And then bring yourself up. So we're going to explore the twist itself. So you can change the height of the block behind your left hand. And as you twist to your left, rotate and listen in for the space. You just compressed the right side of the waist in the side bending. Listen for the space you can make inside now with your twist. You do still have some compression on the right side, but you can also bring the breath in there. And then let's exhale around to face forward. Now you have this block, perhaps 2 blocks, and you've got your blanket perhaps folded in thirds like I did mine. So let's keep the blanket folded like this and bring the 2 blocks within reach. I'm going to have you lie on your back in a kind of bridge pose, supported bridge pose. So what you'll do is, when you lie down, the 2 blocks are going to be there for your feet. Let's put them on the medium setting. So you already know your feet are going to be hip distance apart and they're elevated. And then the blocks support your hips to be on your blanket. Excuse me. So this landing spot for your hips right now should feel like the pelvis is neutral, a neutral experience. Excuse me. Okay. So now we're going to explore something where the breath is a part of the inner process here. So place your hands on your low belly and just observe your resting breath to get started. And then when you're inhaling, sense the inner body can expand outwards using the Ujjayi breath. And exhale completely. Notice the tone under your fingertips. Root down into your heels as you finish the exhale. Then inhale, go up to bridge pose. As you exhale to come down, start to sense the tone of the abdominal muscles supporting your descent. And you arrive before the floor because you have a blanket, so you can continue the tone of the belly in this position. Let's inhale to go up again, please. And exhale to come down. We're not actually rolling down, we're just setting the pelvis down so you can feel the tone. It's not tone that's made from your pubic bone coming up. It's tone from the transverse abdominis supporting the exhale process. Please do that twice more. Inhale to go up. And exhale to glide down. One more time. Inhale to go up. And exhale to glide down. So your pelvis is going to come down relatively neutral, and the low belly muscles, and even right near the ribs, some tone from the transverse abdominis. And then relax the belly. Relax your pose. Now keeping your hips on your blanket, take the blocks for your feet and set them aside. Take your feet as wide as your yoga mat. We're going to do the winter wiper pose from yesterday, but we're going to do it with the hips being elevated. So let's exhale both knees down to the left. Doesn't mean that your left knee is going to reach the floor. It means that it might not reach the floor, but hopefully you'll feel into the right hip. And then rolling up to center, and both knees down to your right, which is my left. And try to sense as you're going side to side that inside the pelvis is like the steering wheel that we use for a boat. And it's turning your pelvis side to side slowly. So the legs are not guiding the process, they are being led by the abdomen. You can inhale up to center and exhale down to either side at the pace that is your breath practice. The next one that you roll down to your left, go ahead and stay there. And elongate from the inner belly through your right thigh into your right knee. And try to sense during the exhale this tone that you could have. It's horizontal. So from the inside of your right hip joint to the inside of your right ilium bone, sort of moving in towards the center line of the abdomen, this horizontal tone. While you're lengthening in the longitude, you're toning in the latitude. I guess I could say it that way. And let's exhale, roll your hips back up to center, using the tone of the belly like steering the wheel on the boat to turn to the other side. So both knees down to your left. The left knee may or may not, down to your right, excuse me. The right knee may or may not reach the floor, but you can elongate through the left thigh, left hip joint. Notice the quality of the breath, how you're caring for that process inside. So that sort of horizontal striation of muscle, the transverse abdominis, you're toning that to complete the exhale. But you're also allowing for this internal length from your left hip to your left knee. And then let's exhale and roll this one back to center. And pause to notice the echo of your practice. Let your body rest as much as you can in this preliminary position before our Shavasana. And then let's take the blanket, put it aside. And one thing you could do is when you stretch the legs out, if you like, you can take the blanket down over your thighs to make the lower body just kind of a sense of grounding. And you can place the top of the blanket at the top of the thighs. So it's really from the iliac femoral meeting right here that you're going for your blanket. Take the arms out to the side. Roll your palms face up. And as you close your eyes, let your awareness go inward. To sense the 5 elements in your body moving as they are. Let your body rest back into the earth element so you can sense this kind of homecoming, this welcome from the earth. Imagine inside that all the rivers of the body are moving with ease, with tranquility. And the fire element is balance, harmonious, neither too much nor too little. And the breath and the air element mingled together, the outer and the inner. They release their separateness. And then the element of space. The element of space. Let each of the elements become a little bit more of themselves while mingling with the others. So earth gets heavier, water knows where to flow, fire in the body is balanced, that which is breathing you is welcomed. The space inside, the space outside, no sense of separateness now. And keeping your mind quiet inside the elements. Gently welcome a slight wiggle to your toes, your fingers. And enjoy a slightly deeper breath. You can bend one knee at a time. And roll to your side and rest on your side as you like until you are ready to come up and take a comfortable seat. When you come up to your seat, go ahead and take the tripod or pyramid seat if you can do it, if your knees allow for it. Rest your hands out over your knees either way, whether you're in Virasana or in a pyramid position. So there's a kind of space, a little aeration for the body. And listen for where the candle flame can become very still inside you. Keep your listening and your gazing in towards the candle flame of the heart. And resting your attention there just a few moments more. You can sense all 5 elements are seen in each other. The candle flame has enough space, a balanced amount of air. It does not have so much water that it's doused. The water element is at the 2nd chakra, the fire is at the 3rd chakra. The flame comes up to the heart and brightens the space of the heart. And there's enough earth element for the stability to sense this happening. And bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra. And we'll chant Om Shanti together. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. Very nice to be with you.